We're getting ready to roll on second cutting here. We've had super dry weather, which made all the hay mature early. We've had a bunch of rain now, which has kind of been throwing a wrench in our plans to make second cutting. So we're gonna go and get the disc bind set up and ready to rock here. Typical farm fashion around here. Stuff's broken. Well, sort of. Stuff broke and we fixed it. So yesterday, well, 2 days ago, my brother and I, we set the cutting height on the disc bind for the 966 in preparation to mow hay. We've had a butt ton of rain around here with some really bad, nasty storms. So we're kind of pushing our luck here with this hay, but we got to get it cut. So yesterday, I had to work getting ready for wheat harvest. So my brother was mowing hay for me. Well, about 10 o'clock, he calls me. I was expecting a call about, how to adjust the disc bind, set the float on it. Well, he calls me and he goes, Jake, this tractor is spraying hydraulic fluid everywhere. Turns out there was an oil cooler line that was an ancient line. It was an original line that just blew apart. So hydraulic fluid was spraying everywhere up near the radiator. Got it fixed, got back to running, and it's running good now. But the tractor's a mess. He got about half the stuff mowed. He's mowing the rest now. I'm going out to the gas station to get gas for the case so I can head right behind him. It's honestly not a bad crop. Yeah, for not having rain for like 3 weeks and then having a ton of rain in the span of 1 week, I think the hay is pretty decent. I'm happy. This stuff is gonna make some hay, I tell you what. It's thick, very thick. But it's also wet. You can't tell? Wet. Freaking wildfires again. So there's wildfires back up in Canada, and it's freaking hazy again, which ain't good because I don't have the full power of the sun working for me right now. It is hazy, and currently there is no breeze right now, so it's stuffy and the air sucks and it's hazy. And yeah, the hay is drying. You can look across, it's kind of got that glazed over look that hay gets when it starts drying, but it's only top layer, and right now it's the dew's still on it, still damp. But you know, it's starting to dry, but it doesn't take much. This is wet. You get under there sopping wet. So I'm gonna hit it with the tedder here again today. Should I be tedding this again? I don't know. The problem with making hay around here is we deal with really high humidity. There's so much moisture in the air. And the other thing we're dealing with is just so much rain. It just has not stopped raining. Fortunately, we had a 3-day window here to make hay, and it's a pretty thick crop of hay, which is making it difficult to get it dry. So short drying window, thick crop, and high humidity. So we're doing what we can. Picked me up a hay rake. It's the same rake we used last time, just rented it from a neighbor. So we are just about to start raking here. I got the baler all hooked up. Currently looking for my moisture tester. I would kind of like to have that, especially with it being completely cloudy and hazy right now. There is not a sun is nowhere.
I don't know how to rake like this.
You should have went back that way.
Yeah, but I didn't.
The hay's still damp underneath. So much moisture, and the sun came out and now it's going away again. It's wonderful, wonderful. I love making hay. Well, we finished up baling the other evening, and it was a madhouse around here. Mr. Trudeau, get your country under control and stop your wildfires, okay? Give your firemen some men so they can go put out the fire, okay? It's been hazy again here. I mean, it was really hazy 2 weeks ago, and now it's super, super hazy again. Well, not today, but it was right when we were trying to make hay, right? We mowed the hay right after a rain, actually right before some rain, and I tedded right behind my brother. So it was like mow and then ted right away, which isn't what I normally like to do, but that's what we did. I tedded it again the next morning. Again, not ideal because there's alfalfa, but we did it. And then we tedded it a third time the following morning. Again, not ideal, but we did it because we had to get it dry. That was the name of the game, get it dry. If it would have been fully sunny out and no hazy, we would have been good. The first 2 days, there wasn't much of a breeze. The day we bailed, there was a real good breeze. But most of the hay was 19%, 16, 17, 18, 19%. So not too terrible. That stack right there is all pretty much dry stuff. And then I sold 200 bales off the wagon to a guy that I sell hay to. He got the best stuff. And then that's the rest of the dry stuff. That there, that's all wet stuff. That there has yet to be sorted. Most of that is wetter. We're talking 25, 30% hay. So it was just really one of those iffy things. Would have liked to maybe let some of it set another day, but again, we were really pressed for time because they were calling for rain, and it's just one of those things we took a risk. We sold, 200 bales of real good stuff, so we made some money off of that, and we got a decent price for it, especially being in the middle of summer, but the drought kind of made hay prices go up, which is a good thing for us. We still have a little bit of dry stuff there, 100 bales or so, 150 bales. And then a bunch of wet stuff. That wagon over there is from the old stand of alfalfa. That's the last cutting that we're taking off of it. That stuff was between, I think, 15 and 20%. So that stuff was good. We put a little bit of Silo King on it. Again, it's weedy stuff, and there was a lot of blooming in the alfalfa. So that's all steer feed, and then all the wet stuff that we got here is all steer feed as well, which is still good because we needed the feed for the steers anyway. We were gonna have to buy some. So, kind of the perks of having cattle, whatever the wet stuff is, you make feed to the steers, so it worked out all right. So here's the dry stuff. The grass itself is super dry. The alfalfa, for the most part, it's pretty cured. It's good to go. It was just there were pockets in the windrows where it was wet. The main reason being, we had so much rain right before we made hay that the ground was so wet. There was so much moisture in the ground that when the hay was all laying out here, even when it was pretty much dry, the soil was so moist that it was just seeping up into the windrows. I mean, you can see it's still very wet underneath there. So that's why we were just getting these pockets of wet hay, and that's why a lot of it was just testing higher, because it's just that bottom little bit that was damp. Everything else was good. On another note, the hay rake plays a big part in drying hay. The rotary rake, since it's still out of commission, I never really realized how much those rotary rakes really fluff up a good windrow and really let the wind blow through it. Those roller bar rakes, they're fun and all, and they get the job done. But the problem is they just turn the hay into ropes, and they make big clumps, and the wind just does not blow through it very well. And then the final thing is we made a total of like 550 bales of new seeding. So the fertilizer we spread made a huge difference in yield. And hopefully the rest of the year will be pretty good here. We'll probably spread some more, maybe in the fall or next spring. But we made a lot of hay. It's just disappointing that a lot of it got wet because it could have been absolutely beautiful hay. I mean, it still is beautiful hay, and we did treat it. So I think all this stack here will do just fine. But, there's still another 100, 150 bales that were just too wet. And I don't trust selling it to horses. So it is what it is. But, there's still third and fourth cutting, and hopefully we'll be able to make up for our losses there. Final thing going on is wheat harvest. Let's go take a look at that. Here's our wheat field. The shady spots and the spots down along the waterways are still a little bit green on the stems, but as for most of the field, it's getting pretty good and dry. Even though we had 3 weeks of really dry weather, the wheat isn't doing too bad around here. The farmer I work for, we were cutting some wheat the other day, and it was doing 100 bushels, so we're pretty happy with it. It's not record-breaking wheat, but it's still pretty good wheat. So wheat's doing all right, even for the drought that we had. Now completely flipped on us, and we're just dealing with a lot of wet weather, which has pushed wheat harvest back a little bit, and it's just slow going at the moment. So my guess is we're gonna have a lot of wet straw in the area. So if we're able to make some dry straw here this year, we should be able to sell it all right.